Howdy folks, my name is Richie, aka Otter, here with another Hearthstone deck guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Patron Warrior deck. This is a deck that has emerged after some cards were introduced during the Blackrock Mountain Adventure Pack, specifically the Grim Patron, for which this deck is named. And this is a 3/3 minion for 5, but whenever he takes damage and survives, he summons another Grim Patron. And this card really combos well with a lot of other warrior cards. So the Patron Warrior has started to emerge. It's been evolving over the past couple of weeks. I've been trying out different combinations. This specific deck that I'm going to be going over today is a slightly modified version of Pony's Patron Warrior deck. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video to his deck guide so that you can take a look at that as well. But I'm going to go over the cards here in a minute, but let me just show you, for example, what you're trying to accomplish. This is a combo-centric deck. You're waiting for specific cards to get in your hand, and then you're going to play some massive combos that help you win the game, and they're going to center around Grim Patron. So we already kind of described what this thing does, but if you combo it with the Warsong Commander, then every single time one of those Grim Patrons spawns a new copy, they will have charge, and you can have a turn that is just ridiculous with a whole bunch of Grim Patrons getting spawned, attacking into the opposing minions, attacking into the opposing health of the opponent, and basically winning the game in one turn. Frothing Berserker also combos well with the Warsong Commander. You can actually activate the Frothing Berserker's ability to gain attack power, and since the Frothing Berserker came into play, and when it came into play it had less than 3 attack, then he will have charge as well. This is an old combo, but it works really well in this deck. So you're going to see a lot of synergy that combos off of these mechanics here. So let's take a look at what's in this deck. We have Inner Rage starting off at 0 casting cost. This is going to be a way to activate some combos, so it's going to deal 1 damage and get +2 attack. It's great if you throw that on a Frothing Berserker, because he's going to get really huge really quick. You can throw it on a Grim Patron to make a really big 5/2 Grim Patron, which will also summon another Grim Patron as a result, because it survives the damage. But you can also use this on many of the low casting cost minions that have high health and low attack. For example, Unstable Ghoul, Acolyte of Pain, Armor Smith. You can use Inner Rage on any of those creatures to help survive the early game, because that's one of the weaknesses of this deck. It's not that so great in the early game. You're waiting till later in the game to pull off these amazing combos, so sometimes you have to use Inner Rage as a defensive mechanic. Execute, you have 2 of these in the deck. These are basically your only line of defense versus some really big creatures. So if they throw out some big taunt, an 8/8 taunt from a druid or something like that, you have to save your executes and use them wisely. You're going to have 2 whirlwinds in the deck. These are going to allow you to activate some insane combos, right? So hitting a whirlwind will damage your creatures, but that's a good thing in a lot of cases. You can get armor from the Armor Smith. You can get cards out of the Acolyte of Pain. You can make the Frothing Berserker gigantic. You can spawn more Grim Patrons. So there's a lot of cards in this deck that taking damage on your own minions is a good thing, and whirlwind helps activate those combos. Fiery War Axe is an absolute beast of a card that you need in this deck. You need 2 of them, and you're going to mulligan hard for them at the early game to get these in your opening hand, okay? If you don't know what mulligan means, you're going to throw away your cards in the beginning of the game and try to get Fiery War Axe or a Death's Bite. A Fiery War Axe is great against aggro decks like Hunters, Zoo Warlock, but Death's Bite is a little bit better versus more control-oriented classes like a Mirror Match Warrior or a Druid, for example, because they're going to have a little bit more higher health creatures in there. Battle Rage. Awesome card. In this deck, sometimes you can use Battle Rage late in the game when you have a lot of injured Grim Patrons on the board. You can easily draw 3, 4, 5 cards with this. You need to have at least one of these in your deck, and this is a great card draw. Slam. I didn't have this card in my deck at first until I read the Pony strategy, and then I slotted it in. It seems to do well. Slam is in there because you're going to face some decks that have a lot of 5 health creatures. You're going to fight Sludge Belchers, for example, and Slam is a good way to get rid of that. You're going to have the ability to do 3 damage with a Fiery War Axe, or maybe some of the other cards like a slightly buffed Frothing Berserker, or even some Grim Patrons. They're going to have 3. You're going to be able to do 3 damage. Sometimes you need to do 2 extra. Slam can do that. You play Slam first so you can draw the card, and it's great to have one of these in the deck. I also have 1 Armor Smith, and you know, some of these cards we have 1 in there. You can play around. You can substitute some things out. You can lower how many you have of one thing or another. And at the end of this list, I'm going to go through some other cards you can try to experiment with. It's a currently evolving deck, and you know, there's different things that you can try. One Armor Smith allows you to stabilize the early game a little bit. If you get the Armor Smith behind an unstable ghoul, then you can actually rack up some armor points, which will help you last a little bit longer. So I have one of those in the deck. Cruel Taskmaster is a lot like the Inner Rage, all right, except that it comes on a 2/2 body, which can help you establish some board control, but you can also activate some major combos with that or use it defensively. Unstable Ghoul, I put 2 of these in the deck, and that's where we kind of divert a little bit from Pony's deck. He puts 1 Loot Hoarder in and 1 Unstable Ghoul. I put 2 of these in. I think these are really powerful cards to have in this deck. You can hide the creatures you want to protect behind them, so you can keep your Warsong Commanders alive, you can keep your Grim Patrons alive, and when the Ghoul explodes, all kinds of combos happen. The Armor Smith gives you armor, the Acolyte of Pain gives you cards, Frothing Berserker gets large, etc., etc. So I put 2 of those in the deck. Acolyte of Pain is a way to draw cards. We want as much card draw in this as possible. That's how you're going to get the combos, right? If you don't get your combos in this deck, you can see if the Warsong Commanders are your last 2 cards in the deck, well, that's going to be a little bit hard for you to win. But having a lot of card draw helps you get the combos in your hand so you can be more effective. Acolyte of Pain is great because there's a lot of ways to get multiple cards out of it. Frothing Berserker is one of your win conditions. These guys can get absolutely monstrous if left unchecked, and this is a way you can actually win with a Warsong Commander, do a whole bunch of damaging spells to everyone on the board, and then smack face with Frothing Berserker for the win. You need the Warsong Commanders to give your creatures charge. That's just another way to win. Death's Bite. Awesome weapon, helps you get rid of minions on their side, but also deals 1 damage to all minions on a death rattle. Again, it activates all the combos. Dread Corsair, very interesting card, all right? To put this in the deck, it's going to be able to get charge if you have a Warsong Commander out, but you can play this for free on turn 4 or turn 3 with a coin if you get the Death Bite out. So you can play Death Bite and Dread Corsair in the same turn. That's a great turn 4 play. You can also play it you can also play it in combination with the Fiery War Axe, so the Dread Corsair then costs 1 mana. So you can do that on the turn 3 play. You can do Fiery War Axe with the Dread Corsair. And it just helps you having an extra taunt creature. Again, Frothing Berserker and Warsong Commander and your Grim Patrons, they need some protection. Dread Corsair does that. Gnomish Adventure's in the deck because it actually puts a decent-sized body on the board, but the card draw. Card draw. It's actually hard to say. It's kind of like Toy Boat. Toy Boat. I can't even say that. All right, Grim Patron. Get 2 of them in the deck. It's what the deck is named after. So you need 2 of them. And Emperor Thorazon. Legendary that reduces the cost of cards in your hand by 1. You get it on the board, and it will automatically use that effect at the end of your turn. If he lasts for multiple turns, it's going to be game over for the opponent. This allows you to play your combos a lot more cheaply, because some of the combos are kind of expensive, right? Grim Patron is 5, Warsong Commander is 3. That's 8 mana, so that's not a cheap combination to do, but Thorazon helps you do that earlier. And Grommash Hellscream is a win condition, right? If you're late in the game and you need that final push, you can enrage him with Inner Rage or a Whirlwind, and now suddenly he's going to attack for 10, and he's got charge on it. You don't need this card. If you don't have this legendary, you don't need this to make this deck work. You can put in a Raging Worgen as a substitute. You can put something else in there as well. You can just double up on another one of these cards. It's not required that you have this, but he's definitely good if you do. Just a few cards real quick that you can play around with and see if it works. Obviously, you can put 2 of anything. I only have 1 in there and see if it works. Revenge. I considered this for a minute, but then I realized that it's really just an expensive Whirlwind. If you have 12 or less health, it does deal 3 damage, which can help you clear the board, but that'll actually kill most of your things as well, so that's not ideal. Some people use Commanding Shout in this deck. It can be actually really great. If you play Commanding Shout, you get a card out of it, and then you can smack your Grim Patrons into whatever size minion you want, and they're not going to die, so you can constantly, replicate them. But I found that it just sits in your hand a lot and does nothing. And the times that it does work, you're probably in a position where you're going to win the game anyway. So I took it out, and I haven't regretted that. You can put in the Axe Flinger as well. This will combo with the Warsong Commander and get charge off of it. And he also, every time you do a Whirlwind or an Inner Rage or something on top of him, it's going to do 2 extra damage to the hero. I ultimately felt like it wasn't doing enough, so I took it out. You could also throw a Brawl or a Gore Howl in there as you see fit, but ultimately I didn't put those in this deck. So let's take a look at some of the matches and see how this deck works in action. Should always gargle before you start playing.
I will
Alright, so we're fighting another warrior. It's probably going to be a similar deck. When you're playing against the slower decks, you want stuff like Death's Bite, Fiery War Axe would be good. This Gnomish Adventure can come in handy, because we need card draw. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep the 2/3/4. I should probably have fished for a weapon. But we'll see. We're going to have some fun here. You got to get rid of this kite. You can't concentrate with the kite in your way. Clockwork Gnomes is not the same deck. We are not playing the same deck here. In fact, we've got the hard counter to the Clockwork Gnome. The Unstable Ghoul. Here we go. We have the perfect answer. Always smash the center pumpkin. That's how you play this deck. Can't win with that center pumpkin there. Alright, he's armoring up on turn 2. This was good. This was good for us. I'm going to save the Warsong Commando for the combo later. We will... Yeah, I don't want to see his face. Let's take him out. Just in case he pulls a Fiery War Axe or something like that. I guess it wouldn't have mattered because it still would have been taken out. I don't know. I just didn't... He was looking at me funny. I didn't like him. Oh, we're going to get a cleave. Fantastic. Thanks for the card. 2 cards. Alright, we could Fiery War Axe into a Dread Corsair, but there's an empty board. I'm going to Gnomish Inventor, get a better card for next turn. Another Dread Corsair. Yeah, we can have fun next turn. Alright, so we can drop the Fiery War Axe next turn and do 2 Dread Corsairs for 1 each. Still have 1 mana left over. We could also... So we'll do Warsong. And a Fiery War Axe. Alright, we're going to take this out. Thankfully, it's something we could kill. So now this Warsong is just floating out here. Unprotected. If he has a weapon, it's going to go bye-bye. Oh, Cruel Taskmaster. Alright, what are we going to execute? We're getting an execute? No, another cleave. He's had some nasty cleaves against us. So we could... Let's do it like this. Let's not even fool around much. There's no need to put out the other Warsong until we can use it for the combo. What do you got now? Oh. Okay, that's not ideal. That's a big weapon. Actually, that sheep would be fun with a Grim Patron out. Of course, waiting 1 more turn would make that a lot more fun. So let's wait 1 more turn before we do anything crazy. Nope. Sheep go bye-bye. And that has 1 too many attack power there to make this totally fun. Actually, it has 2 too many. Well, let's bring out the commander. And we'll bring out the Grim Patron. And we'll make this guy pretty big. Get ourselves another one of them. And we'll whirlwind, because everybody get in here. Alright, we'll take this guy out. It's a pretty good turn. A brawl would be bad. Wow, surprisingly he took out that one. He really needs to take out the War Song. Alright. Well, we're going to hit here and get another one. And that's game. Alright, we had some misplays in there. But overall, you can see how when the combo works out well, it's kind of difficult. Alright, we're going second, and then we're against a rogue. I'm going to keep the Gnomish Inventor. I'm going to throw back the other three. We're really fishing for some weapons. Death's Bite would be ideal. I don't seem to ever get the cards I really want, though, so... We are fighting Walrus, Cuckoo Cuckoo. There's a weapon. Nice! Alright, I'm not going to coin out anything this turn. Now, what's really cool is if you can get a Dread Corsair with the coin, you can do a turn 3 Death's Bite, free Dread Corsair. It's very nice. I will put out an Armorsmith. Let the rogues expend some resources on that. A Death Lord. Wow. Where, oh where is my Execute? I need an Execute so bad. That's not it. I'm nowhere near being able to kill that. Well, let's take a stab at trying to get an Execute. That's not Execute either. Oh, balls. Nope, that's not good. Okay, we're gonna be milled here. Still no Execute. Oh, and you got rid of one of my War Song commanders. You suck an egg. Alright, we're gonna put down Death's Bite with the free Dread Corsair. Smack it. Alright, show me a free Gromash. That's what we want when this Death Lord dies. No! Oh no. That's gonna be bad. Oh boy. My hand is too full. At least it was a Gnomish Inventor this time. Let's be a little silly. Let's see what this combo gets us. We'll hit here first. What are we getting? Oh, an Unstable Ghoul. That's actually quite perfect. Alright, let's take one of these guys out. And we'll do 10 to the face. Probably should have killed the 2-1 here. In fact, I probably should have killed that first with the Ghoul. And made the Frothing Berserker even bigger. Should have done that. Why didn't I think of that? I did think of that. Why didn't I think of that sooner? I don't know. Why are you talking to yourself? It's a good point. Alright, we'll draw some more cards. Thanks. If he doesn't have a way to get rid of the Frothing Berserker, he's gonna be in a world of hurt.
So many.
And he's got to get rid of the Frothing Berserker, but he also really wants to get rid of the War Song Commander. Especially because we've got Grim Patron. He's getting bigger. Another Death Lord, okay. Where's my Execute? Give me Execute! Oh, you gotta be crapping me. No Execute? Alright, Grim Patron, here we go. Go Gadget. Everybody get in here. He's dead this turn. He is dead this turn. This is not gonna go well for him. That Frothing Berserker was about to hit for a lot of damage. Alright, so now you can see what that combo can do. The Mill Rogue was not effective there. Well, that's going to wrap things up, folks. I hope you enjoyed this Grim Patron Warrior guide. If you did, please hit that favorite button and that thumbs up button. Those things really help me out. And subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when future videos are released. Leave me a comment in the comments below if you use this deck and let me know how it fares for you. And I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.